Hi, my name's Craig Brown. I'm responding to Module 5, Unit 1, Activity 1, Understanding Formative Assessments. I watched the video of the science teacher teaching at the secondary level in class where they were dissecting a heart as part of an activity to learn about the structure and valves of the heart and the circulatory system. In response to the questions asked, what information or ideas were evaluated during the assessment? This was a class on the anatomy of the heart and blood flow, and it involved identifying the anatomy of the chambers of the heart, and which is why they engaged in some kind of dissection of a pig heart, which resembles a human heart. And what activity or technology did students use to demonstrate their knowledge or skills? So there were a few ways that they did that. So the teacher was, throughout the process, engaging them in a kind of discussion, either through when they were watching the video, he would stop and ask questions about it, or when they're in the process of dissection, or even before, he would be asking them leading questions, trying to assess their knowledge as he's going along, and they were participating. And of course, they did the dissection itself, and then there was some kind of quiz given at the end of class to assess their knowledge. So how might I have made this more accessible to students with language barriers and those with special needs? So for ELLs, and I think that in the video they were actually ELLs, probably giving supplementary materials that have the major language pre-translated would be a good thing, or leaving them with access to dictionaries or other things where they could translate the words if needed would be useful. And for students with any special need, including ELL learners, I think one of the main dials that I could turn on this activity would just be the amount of time spent on it. So that would mean in a mixed group where you have students who will finish the dissection early and others who it will take longer because it is a more difficult task, just providing the time in class in order for them to finish, and then also having a supplementary activity for the people who finish early so that both of them are engaged in this process. It's basically an accommodation for both the students who would be finishing early and the ones who would have special needs that would, mean that it would take longer for them. So how might you gather and record data from this assessment? So as he was doing, he is asking these kind of leading questions to see what they know before moving on. And obviously he's recording this whole thing, which he wouldn't necessarily be doing every time, but it works in this case as a form of record keeping. But also in there, if in addition to the dissected heart itself, which of course you could observe, that's a record, if they have lab sheets or other things that they're filling out, or the quizzes would all be data about what their current level of understanding is about the anatomy of the heart. And then I could potentially use that data to so for the formative assessments, the ones that are done in discussion and with leading questions, it can actually affect the activity itself and how I roll it out and how much more time I spend on explanation versus them actually doing it. But also the worksheets and the quiz could then be used to inform how I review the material, what I feel I need to teach again, whether I decide to even do the assignment again, so on and so forth. So it's all useful. Okay, that is it.